The Sea of Galilee, where miracles happen. Staying on the western side of the lake, one reaches ancient Magadan, Dalmanutha, in Mark chapter 8, verse 10, more correctly known as Magdala, the site of ancient Migdal. The town was famous for its fish-curing industry and was the traditional birthplace and home of Mary Magdalene, who followed Jesus to Jerusalem. She was one of a group of women who had been healed of evil spirits and infirmities, from whom 7 demons had gone out, in Luke chapter 8, verse 2. Excavations at the site have uncovered parts of paved roads, remains of a villa with a swimming pool, a public building, water system, and a first-century structure thought to be a synagogue. Tagba, Heptapagon, is located on the northwestern shore of the Sea of Galilee, a short distance south of Capernaum. The modern name of the site, Tagba, is a distortion of the Greek name Heptapagon, meaning the place of 7 springs. Of the 7 springs that flowed into the Sea of Galilee, only 5 survive today. The Church of the Multiplication of the Loaves and Fishes, built here to commemorate the miracle performed by Jesus, was built on the ruins of a 4th century church. A beautiful 5th century mosaic floor depicting a lake with fauna and flora has been preserved from the ancient church. Another church on the lake shore itself commemorates the apparition of the risen Christ to the apostles and is also known as the Church of the Primacy, in honor of St. Peter, to whom Jesus gave primacy over the other disciples. Capernaum, on the northwestern shore of the Sea of Galilee, was the center of Jesus' Galilean ministry. Capernaum was located along the ancient highway leading to the kingdoms of the Fertile Crescent. Its Hebrew name, Kfar Nahum, is traditionally named after the prophet Nahum. It was well known during the Second Temple, Roman, and Byzantine periods. It is important as the birthplace of Peter, and this is where Jesus once lived, preached, and performed miracles. In the 4th century, a Jewish apostate, Joseph of Tiberias, built a church here, and in time the place became a pilgrimage center. Although the site was apparently destroyed in the 6th century, it seemed to have been settled and even flourished until the 10th century. The most significant find is a 3rd century synagogue built over an early one, possibly that in which Jesus preached. Chorazin, northwest of the Sea of Galilee, was a Jewish town in the Roman Byzantine period. It is mentioned in the books of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 21, and Luke, chapter 10, verse 13, as one of the 3 cities, together with Bethsaida and Capernaum, that Jesus cursed because their inhabitants failed to accept his teachings. Archaeological excavations have uncovered a black basalt synagogue from the 3rd to 4th centuries, similar to that of Capernaum, with carved decorations, Jewish symbols, and inscriptions in Aramaic and Hebrew. Gergesa, Kursi, is situated on the eastern shore of the Sea of Galilee, some 3 miles north of Ein Ger. Tradition has it that this was the site where Jesus healed 2 people possessed by demons by permitting the demons to enter a herd of swine, which then rushed down a steep slope into the Sea of Galilee, Matthew chapter 8, verses 28 through 34. The town itself is mentioned as the country of the Gadarenes, referring to the nearest city, Gadara. After excavations uncovering the remains of a Byzantine monastery and church had been completed at the site, remains of a square tower and a small chapel were found on the slope southeast of the monastery. The location of these remains, only about 218 yards southeast of the church, supports the identification of the site with the locale of the miracle of the Gadarene swine, because the topographical conditions are so similar to those described in the Gospel account.